Hey guys, it's Greg, and in this video I would like to show you Carcassonne with Nordic theme. The game is titled Blood of the Northmen, and it's a tile drafting game where you are going to build a map, and depending on what kind of tile you are adding to the map, different type of actions you can perform. So I want to show you the base game, which is available everywhere, and the new expansion Test of Faith, which is going to be on some kind of crowdfunding platform soon. So first part of the video will be about the base game, and the second part of the video will be about the expansion. So if you know the game, just skip to the end of this video. So let's begin. Alright, so first of all, let's start with the base game, Blood of the Northmen. Let's check out what we can find in the box, and I will explain you how this game works. At the beginning, I think I can say that this game looks like a little bit as a Carcassonne, but on steroids. I mean, I played Carcassonne 15 years ago or something, so that's only my impression, maybe I'm wrong, but what I remember how this game worked and how this game plays, I see some similarities. So first of all, we have 3 rule books in English, Polish, in German, and inside the box we can find elements like, let's start with this one. Those are players' sheets, players tokens, players I don't know what, and you have your jarls in the middle. It's double-sided, so on both sides we have different jarl. It doesn't matter because it's only for visual aspects. They don't have different skills. On the left hand side you have space for your units, and on the right hand side you have space where you will track your victory points. And in this game your units are also your victory points. So when you have more victory points, you have less units to use during the game. So those are the player mats, let's say. Next things are those bags, different bags with icons. Those are you can store inside of them all your units. So for example, like the guys over here, you can see those minis, which are also victory points. And the problem is, that's the biggest problem for me of this game, one of two, the biggest problems, that those minis are all gray. So, and they are very small, like very small. You can see they are very small. So when they are on the map, it's very difficult to recognize which mini is of which player. So I think they should introduce some kind of colorful rings or something in expansion, as if you are playing with 2 players it's difficult, and I can't just imagine how to play it with more than 2 players. So inside we have those minis. They are just okay, like nothing spectacular, but they are very small, so I think it's not the point that they should be super detailed. Next thing we have in the box are those buildings. So those are strongholds. You can build them when you are adding another tile to the map. I will explain them shortly. And next thing are those tiles. Those tiles are one-sided, and those are actually without this and without this and without those 2. Wait a second. And without those 2. So those tiles are with special skills. So you're gonna pick them randomly at the beginning of the game, and each of those tiles shows using icons here below the different skills that your jarl can use during the game. So those are here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them in the base game. Here you have those players' aids, players' sheets again, and that shows what kind of actions that you can perform during the game. And this one is first player token. So when you're building your players' area, you're gonna use this one. You can put this big token over here and this big one over here, and you have that fixed player area where you have all the necessary icons and minis that you are going to use during the game. Alright, so That's it. And final element of the base game are those tiles. It's, I think, 120 of them. I'm gonna check it. Yes, there's 100. So we have 120 tiles. I checked in the rulebook. So on those tiles we have different type of land and different type of towns that you can build during the game. So let me now show you how the game flow works in Blood of the Northmen. So for example, I'm gonna set up this rather randomly. So let's say those locations are the starting locations. So let's say like this, and final one, let's say like this. All right. So this is the starting map, and each player should have, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna maybe take those tiles from different stacks. So I'm gonna have more types of them because it's very difficult to shuffle them, and to be honest. Now, or let's go through what we can find on the box, on the one tile. So what is important in this game are the edges, because you can build the map only by adding a next tile, and those tiles need to be connected exactly with the same type, with the same type of the edge. And what kind of edges we have in this game? So first edge is like empty edge, that's like meadow or something. One edge is with the road, one edge is with the water, one edge is with the mountains, and we should have another one with the forest. And so what is important about this, I'm gonna go to the towns shortly, but after this. But why I am saying it's that those edges are important, because first of all, you need to connect those tiles exactly with the same edge. But second thing is, depending on what kind of edge you are adding to the map with your tile, different actions you can perform. And now we can check this tile over here. We have explained what kind of actions you can do adding specific tiles. So I'm gonna use, let's say, this one, because we have different type of edges in here. If I would add this tile to the map, I need to add it, and two edges need to fit to the map. So I could do this, like, for example, like this, because water and forest are exactly the same, so those tiles are connected to each other, and now I can play this tile like this. And what I could do if I would play this tile, so first of all, I am doing forest action, and forest action means I can add one unit to this location depending on how many edges with the forest is on a tile. So in this situation, I could put two units on this map building my troop. So with two forests I could add 2 units. Second thing is water action, and water action allows me to move my units from one space to another, and it doesn't need to be moved from this specific tile. If I would have my units over here, I also could move them. And this action move is quite specific, because I can move my tile. It doesn't matter that it's on a water. Water allows me to move tiles, but move my units. But I can move them in any direction. It doesn't have to be on the water. So if they would stand here, I could move them through the water. If I would put this token, this tile over here, I could move them through the forest, and if the map would be built over here somewhere, I could move them through empty space, through this field, and so on. There are, of course, some limitations. For example, if I want to move through the forest, I need to spend 2 water actions, and on this tile I have 2 water actions, because on 2 edges I have water, so that means I have 2 actions which are the water. That's exactly the same thing as with the forest. I had 2 forest actions. That means I could perform twice this action, which is plus 1 unit on this tile. So water actions allows me to move my units by one tile. The second thing is road action. Road action allows me to move my units. So I can move my units and they can travel through the roads, using the roads. And the specific thing about the action, which the road action is, of course they could... okay, I'm gonna build some kind of map. Now it's not according to the rules, because I should have two edges connected, but whatever. So I could move all those units from this place over here. It doesn't matter how far I am moving, as long as I am using the road. So I can travel, if we have very big network of the roads on a map, we can travel very fast and everywhere actually. The second extra thing about the roads is you can travel using borders of the map. So for example, if I would have... So for example, I have two units over here and I can travel, as I said, over here, and that's one road action. But I also can travel using borders of the map. And what does it mean? I can travel from one border of the map when the road ends to the different border map of the map where also a road is. So I could move from over here to here, because we have a road and this road ends on the border of the map. I could travel from here to here, because from here another empty space where we have roads that goes to the end of the map we have here. So traveling on the road is very specific, and it allows us to quickly move around the map. And finally, the final action are the mountain actions. The mountains are used to the battles. So this one is specific, and you can just start battles when you are having borders with mountains. So over here I couldn't do this action because I didn't add any border with the mountains. But if I would play this tile, on over here we have two borders with the mountains, and that means I have two mountains actions, and each of this action can be attacked on my opponent if I have units on the same tile as my opponent. So those are all actions in a game. Now, I also said that we have those strongholds. So every time you are building, adding new tile to the map, and let's say that's the map, and I am adding another tile. So for example, that would be something like this. There's one extra rule: edges must fit. So as I said, water to water, road to road. Then one exception is the mountain. The mountain is a joker, so mountain can be adjacent to anything. So I could put this tile like this, as the mountain over here is adjacent to the field and the mountains are the joker, so everything is fine. And the same thing goes over here, mountains over here, field empty is over here. So that means I can put this tile as we have two jokers, and that is okay. So why I'm saying this? So for example, I had my two guys over here and enemy is also over here, so I can use that one mountain action to attack my opponent on this tile, for example. So now I would like to show you the battle, how it works. So for example, those two are mine and this one guy is my opponent, and I added this tile over here with one mountains on the edge. So that means I have one battle action. So I'm gonna perform one battle on this tile. So how battle works? I am attacker, so I am going to draw one tile from the stack because I am an attacker, and next I'm going to take two extra tiles because I have two guys on this tile, and my opponent unfortunately can draw only one tile because there's only one guy and he is or she is a defender. And now you need to check how many, again, edges with the tiles we have on our drawn tiles. So here we have two, and me as attacker I have three. So I won So as I said, on this tile we have 2 edges with the mountains, and on my tiles I have 3 edges with the mountains, and now we have to subtract 3 minus 2, so we have 1. So in the end my enemy needs to remove 1 unit from this tile. So that's it. He or she needs to remove this one, and me as a winner, I can add 1 victory point, so 1 of my units from my reserves over here, or from the board to the right hand side of my board. So I have 1 on 6 victory points, and actually that's it. Oh yes, and I didn't say anything about those strongholds. So every time I am adding the tile, so for example I added this one, I can, no, it's not it's a bad idea, because I have those mountains over here, and mountains, you cannot go through the mountains. So let's say I would add something like this. I cannot add something like this. Whew. As you can see, it's not so easy to find something that can fit. For example, like this, I am adding this tile, so everything is okay, because mountains and empty field, that's a joker, great, and forest to forest, it's also great. So I am adding this tile, and I can decide to build the fortress in this place, and I need to put my 1 unit on the top of this tower, and that means that this place is mine, and my enemy cannot move through this place in no way. That place is just blocked, like it would be mountains. And of course I can decide I don't need this anymore, I can always take this guy from here, and that fortress is just removed from the game. And more or less that's the blood of the Northmen. We have also extra rules with those towns that you can build, and that's the second thing that's executed quite so, let's say, because we have 4 different types of the towns, and as you can see, if you are going to build those tiles on a map, it's very difficult to see what kind of town you build. So this one is with brown roofs, this one is with blue, and this one is with gold, and somewhere I think there should be also with the red or something. Oh no, with the silver roofs. And just imagine that you are building those towns, and those gray units are standing over here, and try to guess what kind of town is on this tile. So it's not executed perfectly, it could be better, but still, and you just need to move them or put in some way that they are not going to cover the town, and that's it. And those towns adds extra layer of strategy, because each of those towns gives you some kinds of different boost. So for example, if you are going to build those towns with brown roofs, you can have extra, depending on how many towns you are controlling with brown roof, you can get victory points equal to the towns that you are controlling. So if you have 6 towns with brown roof, and in each of them you have majority of the units on the map, you instantly won, because 6 is the maximum of the victory points that you can have. So next one is with that, let's say, golden roof, and this town allows you to have extra guys in the reserves, so you can move your units from your board and from your reserves, or from your track with the victory points as a reserve. So let's say you can stack them on picture of your Jarl. And those guys are also treated as jokers, and you can use them as any kinds of actions. So they can be a forest action, they can be treated as a road action, or as a forest action, or as a mountain action. So you're just adding this type of tile, or this type of tile without the road action, but you can decide to discard, remove this one guy from reserve, and treat and gain extra road action even if you didn't have it on a tile that you are adding to the board. So this is the second town. Third town with the silver. So that's silver town with the silver roofs. Those allows you to, you're just bribing enemies, and you can remove troops of your enemy depending on how many, again, towns with silver roof you are controlling. And final town with the blue roof. So this town allows you to build your own hidden stack of tiles, and how you can use them. So, and what should you actually put on this stack? You should put as many those tiles with the mountains as possible, because this is your extra stack that you can use during the battle. So in this situation when I had here two guys versus one guy, and I had 3 tiles. If my opponent would have, let's say, those 2 tiles in his hidden stack, he could also add these tiles to this battle and gain extra 3 points of strength, let's say. So that's Blood of the Northmen, that's the base game, and now I would like to show you the expansion, but I must say that's still a prototype and all the rules are not finished. So keep this in mind. So I'm going to just show you what kind of new features they are going to introduce, but I'm not gonna go through all of them, because I think they can change at the end of the development of the expansion. So now expansion test of faith, and now what we can find in the box. As I said, that's a prototype, so you're gonna see that all those elements are not finished. Alright, so what new things we can find in this expansion? First of all, a lot of new tiles, and those new tiles introduced a new type of the edge. This is the pass, and it's just combination of the road and the mountains. And what this new edge adds to the game. So first of all, it's the end of the road, and second thing, you can use pass to build a church. You can build a church in any town where you have, of course, majority of your units. And what the churches can do. So first of all, it's impossible to have a battle in a town with the church. And second thing, the more churches you control, the more victory points you can get, just because you are controlling the town with the church. So you don't have to fight and earn a victory only by bloodshed. You also can have a victory thanks to the prayer and to the church, let's say. Second thing, what we can have what you can notice already, we have colorful new elements. So I think they are going to introduce some kind of colors that will help us recognize our troops on the board. So those guys are like heroes or something. They're called heresiers, and if you have heresier in a troop and you are going to win a battle where there is a heresier, you are going to gain extra victory point. And if you defeated heresier, you are going to, I think, have another victory point also. So it's the easiest way to gain extra victory points, but also it's important that if your enemy has a heresier in his troop that you are going to attack, there are some extra rules that can influence how many victory points you are going to get. So those are 2 new elements. The second and the third thing are the ships. So ships, you can build the ship only on a edge. I mean, on the tiles on the edges where you have water. And if you have already a ship long, they're called actually long ships. If you have that long ship on the map, you gain extra water action that can only be used to add another tile to build bigger sea or bigger lake where you have that long ship. So thanks to that, you can build that gigantic pool of water that can be then easily passed to go to the second side of the map. And the second thing why those long ships are important and useful, that if you are using the long ship in a battle and your opponent doesn't have the ship, you instantly win. You don't even have to draw the tiles, you're just winner and that's it. And the final extra thing that is introduced in here are the catapults. So you can use the catapults and attack adjacent locations. And what is cool with the catapults, thanks to them you can attack also strongholds which are in the base game. And if you are the winner, if you destroy the stronghold, you can capture it and treat it as your own. So those are the elements that you can find in Blood of the Northmen. Also we have extra tile with Novogorod. I'm not sure if it's a Novogorod. Yeah. So I'm not sure where is this tile, but those are just two towns on the one tiles. So a very specific place that can change the flow of the game drastically. And the final thing, what we can find, what authors introduced in this expansion, are those neutral brigades. So you can use your actions to spawn a neutral brigade, and those neutral units can attack towns with churches. I mean, at least in those rules that I have. So that is the way that you can take control or remove the church from the game. You need to spend your actions and to build to make the neutral brigade, let's say some kind of bandits, and those bandits are attacking let's say town with church, and thanks to that you can read the church out of the game. It's a lot of it's not a lot of components, but we have a lot of new mechanics that are enriching the game, and I think they can be because I don't have final version and it's not everything is not playing smoothly at this moment, but I believe that after some fixes, this expansion can be just a must-have, because it enriches the game drastically. Because base game is quite it's a base game, so let's face it, there's not a lot of options. And I must point out that using the towns and using the strongholds is also in instruction. Those are extra advanced rules. So if you are not gonna use them, you actually have only the base. For actions on the edges, and that's it. You're not going to use the towns, you're not going to use the strongholds. So the game is very, very, very basic without this extra add-on, and I think that's gonna be a game changer for Blood of the Northmen. So that's it. That's Blood of the Northmen Test of Faith. The game gonna be on some kind of game founding platform soon. So I think if you are into that kind of games, if you like Nordic theme, and if you love Carcassonne, I think this is a game for you, and especially with this add-on. Alright, so that's it. That's Blood of Northmen, Test of Faith. Thank you so much, and see you in the next video.